Okay, everyone keeps asking me about my birth story, so here it is. It's not a bad birth story at all, and I know that there are a lot of bad birth stories out there, but this is nothing to be scared of. I had like a really nice and pleasant birth. So I got my first cervical check with my gyno at 38 weeks, my first one. And I was 2 centimeters dilated. So he's like, oh, I'm definitely not seeing you at 39 weeks, but whatever. Do whatever you gotta do. So I left there and I was 2 centimeters dilated. I'm 100% giving birth this week, and I was terrified. So I go home and a cervical check, sometimes you can get cramps and all this shit. So I was cramping. I was a little disgusting down there. And then I'm for sure giving birth. I got on the ball and I was oh, I don't know if these are contractions, but they feel like period cramps. I'm 100% giving birth. My mother-in-law came over because she was close by. And you guessed it. Guess who made it to 39 weeks? Yeah, 39 weeks. Me. We go back in. I'm hey, what the fuck? I didn't give birth. I'm having these contractions. And after the cervical check, I didn't really feel much. Just Braxton Hicks tightenings. I was honestly always tight. 39 weeks, checks me again, 2.5 centimeters dilated. I'm okay, that's pretty. By the way, my eyeshadow brush, gone with the wind. Who knows where it is? I was okay, hopeful. And everyone keeps talking about this membrane sweep. I'm honestly convinced my doctor just did it without telling me. And I was deathly scared of cervical checks, by the way, because pap tests for me, just kill me. They're the most painful thing in the world. Anyways, it didn't hurt. Maybe it's because I was so dilated, but it didn't hurt. It was fine. It was kind of rough though, the second check at 39 weeks. He went really deep. He was your baby's head is in my hands. Let go of the head. Nobody gets hurt. So basically he's oh, I'm definitely not seeing you next week. I was literally begging him, please deliver my baby, whatever. Doctors can't control on their own call. And in Montreal, you don't really guarantee that your doctor's gonna be there when you give birth. So anyways, he was sure I was going. And basically he's I'm putting a note in my file. You're going into labor for sure. I'll be there. They're gonna notify me if you show up. So I'm okay, next time I see you, I'm gonna have a baby. Peace. I go home that night. I lose my mucus plug. All you Reddit moms out there know what a mucus plug is. Lose my mucus plug. I'm having very irregular contractions, painful ones, but nothing crazy, just period cramps. And yeah, so I was oh, for sure I'm getting birth. I was terrified. I was crying. I couldn't believe I was gonna give birth. My first kid, you're very scared of birth. It's the unknown, blah, blah, blah. You motherfucking guessed it. A week goes by. 40 weeks, bada bing, bada boom, I didn't give birth. So I'm still fucking pregnant. It's a nightmare, by the way. 40 weeks, I feel for you. 40 weeks is a nightmare. So I'm still pregnant as hell, huge, and I'm not getting birth. So I show up to my doctor at this point. I'm fee, fi, fo, fum. The girl's trying to weigh me. I'm fuck off. Doesn't even matter at this point. You have high blood pressure. I'm no fucking shit. I'm still pregnant. Obviously I have high blood pressure. And my whole pregnancy I had low blood pressure, so no one was concerned. Anyways, I walk in there. I look at my doctor. My doctor's I can't even fucking believe you're here. He calls me Leb. He's I can't even believe you're here, Leb. I don't know what to tell you. I'm listen, I need to give birth. He's listen, there's no point in keeping you pregnant at 40 weeks. I'm gonna call in some favors. So he did that. So I'm scheduled to be induced in 2 days. Now I'm really crying and freaking out because obviously you don't want to get induced for your first baby. You want your body to do what it's naturally built to do, and it's sad. And you hear all these stories and these crunchy moms being there's never a need to be induced. Your baby's never too big. Anyways, I was crying, I was scared, and I've heard horror stories about inductions, emergency C-sections. My friends have gone through it. It was really a scary night the night before. I I go to sleep after crying myself to sleep. My sister came to lay with me, my husband, my mom. It was really scary. I wake up in the morning. I have to go in at 6 in the morning. I wake up and sure enough, I'm like, oh, I think I peed myself. Nope, that was my water breaking. So I walk into the hospital, no contractions, my water just broke. I was just peeing myself like throughout my pregnancy, so I thought this was normal. But then as I went on with my morning, there was pee coming out of me, walking into the hospital. So like I knew my water broke. So I go to the girl, I'm like, listen, I'm scheduled to be induced, but I think my water broke. So admits me, I have a beautiful room. It was honestly a really nice experience and whatever. Admits me right away. This student doctor, this girl comes in for my first cervical check, which honestly was the most painful part of the entire labor. And she's like, I have small little fingers. Like, I'm gonna do your cervical check. I'm like, okay. Those fingers were nothing even near gentle. But sure enough, she was like all inside me and shit, and I was 3.5 centimeters. Still not a single contraction, by the way. Not a single, like they were showing up on the screen when I got hooked up to the IVs and everything, but I actually felt 0. So, not a single contraction. Look, I don't want to get judged on here, but I'm just gonna be real. The best piece of advice I got was from my mom. And my mom's piece of advice was, don't fucking wait, get the fucking epidural, okay? Sometimes it takes a long time. Yeah, sometimes it'll slow down your labor. I mean, I don't know how true that is because my labor was quick, but basically like, don't wait to get the epidural. By 9 a.m., I walked in at 6, got admitted right away. By 9, I'm still not feeling anything. So they're like, we're starting you on Pitocin. Now I'm like, ooh, heard horror stories about Pitocin contractions, whatever. Anyways, they start me on Pitocin. I'm fucking scared shitless on the ball. I have this nurse actually, Nurse Ball, she's amazing, shout out. Never forget her. She's like, don't you want to feel the labor? I was like, no, I don't. So I get the epidural. I mean, there are contractions on the monitor, but they weren't crazy. Epidural was actually pretty painful too. I get the epidural. Long story short, a couple hours go by, I feel a bit of pressure. I'm watching Call Her Daddy. It was the Catherine Pays, whatever, interview. Chilling with my husband. I feel like wetness and pressure. Nurse checks me. She's like, you're bleeding. That means normally that you're like 10 centimeters dilated. I was 10 centimeters dilated. It was time to push. That was also pretty hard because like it took me a while to push. So my doctor comes in. He's super chill. I love him. He's like, get some music going. Let's get a vibe going. What do you listen to? I see your baby's head. Blah, blah, blah. We get the music going. An hour and a half of pushing. My doctor was like, she's right there. Get her out. I was so numb, but whatever. Bottom line, I get her out. An hour of pushing probably. I don't know. I don't remember. Took me a while to push though, and she was out. We didn't know what she was gonna be though. Anyways, she was born to Jammin' by Bob Marley, and we actually didn't know what we were having throughout our pregnancy, so when she came out, I was told she was a girl. It was a beautiful surprise. Basically, I walked in, Pitocin, 9 a.m., baby in my hands by 2:45 p.m. It was lovely, and don't be scared. It's good to go in blind. That's what I suggest. Don't listen, don't go on Reddit, just go in blind. By the way, I just want to add, birth and labor were a fucking breeze compared to postpartum. So I'm just saying, don't be scared of labor. Be scared of what's to come after, because that kicked my fucking ass.